just buy a machine because you need a machine. You buy a machine because it's 33% of your yearly profit equation. Joel, you're shaking your head because you get it, don't you? Yes, it's 33%. Your taxes are 33%. That's what Uncle Sam wants. And you know what? I don't want to give him 33% of my money. So at the end of the year, if I have to, I'll go buy all new equipment. I buy all new equipment all the time. I'm like, here's one of the 3 critical people you need on your team. An accountant. It's not H&R Block, unless your HR Block guy happens to be your wife or your husband or something like that. You need an accountant that knows your business inside and out, that can call you with red flags and warnings before anything comes up. Over-deliver on your communication. One of the things I actually tell my guys to do is to stop for about 20 minutes a day and just talk to the customer. All right, you guys, this is the big conclusion. This is the final part of our Your Mouth Makes You Your Money series. And this is going into the You Listen While You Work playlist. And I've got a brand new squirrel. And hopefully this one doesn't try to jump. Oh, it just crapped. Yep. It's always something interesting with these guys. And so anyway, you guys, this is part of the series that lets you strap on a set of headphones and tune in without necessarily having to see what's happened in the video. So the success of this depends upon you guys interacting with the video. Let me know what you think. Hit a like button or comment down below. All those things actually make a big difference. You guys don't realize just how powerful you guys are, because honestly, the YouTube's algorithm weighs every time you interact with a video. With that being said, let's get into today's video. What do you think? Let's do it. Yeah.
So what would be the advantage of leasing versus buying versus renting?
Okay, renting is 100% deductible, but you're going to pay a higher rate. Okay? You're going to pay the highest rate to rent. Leasing is 100% tax deductible. You're going to have a longer term commitment. So if you're going to use that machine if you're going to lease it for 6 months, you may only actually work it for 5. Because it may just be parked, but you still got to pay for 6 months, right?
Right.
And then you purchase it if the taxes are right for your year. That's something important to wrap your head around, is to make sure that you don't just buy a machine because you need a machine. You buy a machine because it's 33% of your yearly profit equation. Joel, you're shaking your head because you get it, don't you? Yes, it's 33%. Your taxes are 33%. That's what Uncle Sam wants. And you know what? I don't want to give him 33% of my money. So at the end of the year, if I have to, I'll go buy all new equipment. I buy all new equipment all the time. I'm like, I bought 3 new trucks last year. I don't need them, but I'm not giving that money to Uncle Sam. I'm not doing that. I'll find a reason to have that, okay? Because it's your money. You earned it. Take advantage of those tax loopholes and start to do it. So taxes can be super tricky. Hold on just a minute, Josh. Are you raising your hand? You just itching your palm? You got an itchy palm, Josh? Okay. So here's one of the 3 critical people you need on your team. An accountant. It's not H&R Block, unless your HR Block guy happens to be your wife or your husband or something like that. You need an accountant that knows your business inside and out, that can call you with red flags and warnings before anything comes up. They're your partner. They're your partner. Your banker, he's your partner. He'll tell you about new financing options out there. If you have a banker and when you walk in, they're not saying, hey, can we go out to lunch? You're in the wrong bank. You're at the wrong bank. They should look at you and go, how's things going? I saw your wife the other day. If you got time to go grab lunch. And that sounds weird. Right? I met with the president of my bank yesterday afternoon. And I says, I told him a story that I want to tell you guys. He's a brand new guy. He just became the president first day I met him, right? And I says, I want to tell you why I'm here right now. And I says, you see this team you have out here, these people? Those people right there are why I'm here. I said, I used to go to TCF Bank, and Lucas was my teller. Now, Lucas wore glasses, and he always buttoned his shirt all the way up, and he had one kind of gimpy arm, right? Lucas was a cool guy. And he would be my teller, and I'd always go to Lucas. I just kind of liked him. Just kind of thought Lucas was a cool guy. Brought all my stuff up and putting everything in front of him, and Lucas looks down and he goes, I need to see your ID. And I said, Lucas, I've been coming here for 9 years. You still need to see my ID? And he looks at me and goes, I don't know who you are. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm out. And I found a small bank that knows my business inside and out, and it has been a game changer. I love getting the call in October, November with, hey, do you want to spend some money this year? I'll line up the financing. I'll put this much money aside if you, because they know that at that time I'm starting to look at getting all of my finances lined up. And by the way, October is around the corner. You guys better start buying your equipment. You should have all of your taxes figured out for the year in October, so you know that you're not behind the 8 ball. I had a buddy who didn't do this, and he ran a $5 million underground utility company, and he was bragging to me about how he bought a payloader after the first of the year, but he had them backdated so that it looked like he got the tax exemption in the year. And I'm like, or you could have just done pre-did your taxes and not just bought one. You could have bought 3 and done it the right way. Because to have to jump through loopholes like that is not the right way to run your business. You're not going to find people that are willing to do those things. So what you want to do is you want to have a projection ahead of time before the year ends of what the year's going to look like for you guys. So you all know almost to the penny how much money you're going to be giving Uncle Sam or how much money you can go spend on yourself before you got to get in a bind and start doing either one of those things. Are y'all together with me on that one? Right? That doesn't sound fun, doing your taxes early. Who the heck wants to do that? But after the first of the year, it's too late. It's too late. Because now you can't take, if you make too much money after January 1st, if you make too much money, you can't go buy a piece of equipment and have it be expensed in the previous year. It's too late. You're looking like you're confused, Paul.
I'm not confused. I still don't understand like the first 3 quarters, how you're paying your quarterly taxes and calculating that.
What do you mean?
Well, like you're talking about the end of the year buying stuff so you don't have to send that money to the government. But what are you doing the first 3 quarters calculating your profit and sending that?
Allocate. I allocate. I just allocate more than what I think I'm going to have to spend so that I have that coming in. But then I look at if I'm going to have excess profits, I don't want to just give that extra 33% away. So I'm going to make sure that I then have enough time to go out and make the purchases. That's why you'll see implement dealers, construction dealers. These guys are going to be truck companies. I mean, anybody here ever bought a truck, for a tax deduction at the end of the year? Joel, did you have a problem getting them? Or were they like, oh man, we're so swamped right now?
No, they knew it was coming.
They knew it was coming. Okay, so you had a relationship then with somebody, I'm guessing, right?
Well, I mean, we bought 4 trucks.
Okay.
So like they were pretty happy to see us,
Right.
regardless. But they knew the situation up, south of Chicago. So a lot of contractors that do that sort of thing. But it's the bigger guys who do it who have learned how to do it. It's not the smaller guys because they'll wander in March when they're getting all the calls, and then the dealerships make money off of those guys. But then we get great financing because we're buying at the end of the year when they're trying to move all the stuff.
Yes. So what Joel just said is the big companies, I'm teaching you something that the big companies are doing that works phenomenal for small companies. I mean, this is a leverage move, you guys. It's critical that you understand all of these little key components and put them together. Now, have I lost anybody so far? Let's stop for some questions. Josh, you got
I'd just
one?
like to add to what he said. We like to buy our trucks around November, December of the previous year model. Like, we're looking at 2019s for November and December. Because the manufacturers usually pump out extra incentives
Yep.
to help the dealers move them off the lot to get the 2020s in. So I found that you can get them a lot cheaper if you get yourself a brand new truck, and you get the deduction for that year.
That's a nugget. That's a nugget. We've got 40-some people in here with different nuggets. Remember, I started with you, didn't I? Have we got more nuggets? Anybody else got something they want to share? Travis?
Not making decisions is costing. Experience teaches us, and yes, both failure and success is the teacher. So if you're not making decisions about calling people, lining up more work, coming to a weekend like this, it's costing you money.
Al, you look like you got some experience. You got a nugget? He's got a nugget. I can tell.
So this is more like a personal one. You guys ever get a splinter in your hand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't get that splinter out of your hand, what happens? Gets infected. So you ever have a splinter that you can't see, but you can feel?
Yeah.
So when you touch it, there's pain. Ow, ow. Well, I figured out we can have splinters in our heart or in our brain. So I could be talking to you, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm ready to fight. I'm like, what? What did I do? What happened? This can happen in relationships really easy. It gets back to what the lady was talking about before. But so I just hit a splinter that you never got dug out of your heart or out of your. Don't turn your back on me. You know, those kinds of.
Oh, yeah, personal splinters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay,
But
okay.
that floods in your.
Psychology,
Yeah.
right? So it goes back to what Kathleen was saying, is how we interact with people, our interpersonal communication styles. We need to learn to use our mirror neurons, or whatever that word is. I don't know, I'm Polish. I don't care. Nuggets, I want to share a couple other nuggets. Joel?
Can I say something? I want to say something about who asked the question about the rent versus buy?
I did.
You did.
Yeah.
So, like, in my opinion, that's the wrong question to ask. But it's like you're thinking about the wrong way, right? But it's a big decision, because you start thinking about, well, if I rent this, then, I gotta go get it, and it takes time, it takes all these things. But like for me, when I'm thinking about renting versus leasing versus owning something, I'm thinking about what's that thing's potential to produce me income per unit time, right? Because we're coming from Chicago, and we got 8 to 9 months, and if we don't do what we're gonna do in those 8 to 9 months, then it's not gonna happen. Right? So if I can get something to make me more money faster, so I'm thinking per unit time. So I may not rent something, even if I'm only gonna use it 3 times a year, I might need it now so that those guys don't have to be tied up doing that one thing. Or so they don't have to be tied up.
Did a piece of equipment with another company and split it. And then it's just a matter of job costing or who gets the equipment. You just gotta have a good relationship with them. It's a great way to lessen the expense. Adam, I gotta get Jesus.
I have a question. When they lease the truck do you guys do it every year, or how you do it?
For me, it's when I got a good year, right? So if I'm not having as good of a year, I'm not gonna spend money that I don't have to spend, but I will lease a piece of equipment. Some of you guys know I bought a sled, I bought a payloader, right? I didn't need a payloader. I didn't need it, but I wasn't gonna give it to the government. So I bought a payloader, right? And I've worked it, and now it's literally been parked for 7-8 months. But I figured that I'm still money ahead in just running it over the winter time, and the tax savings than giving. Literally, it was $68,000 payloader, so I would have had to give $20-some thousand in money to the government. I'm like, no, that came off the price of my loader as far as I'm concerned. So. Adam, and how's my time? Do I gotta get going, you guys? I don't want to take something from somebody else.
Couple more questions, and then we can wrap it up and keep
All right.
going.
This is something that I probably should know after 6 years of doing this, but can you talk a little bit about allowances on a contract? Giving the customer like a material allowance. Like I do a lot of tile setting, and that's something that I have never even started to get into. And recently I've had customers that are like, oh, this last guy said I have $3,000 allowance, and I'm honestly clueless what they're even referring to.
Oh, I like this question. I want you to start to frame your proposals the way that you're the most comfortable with. You're gonna have every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there offering all these different options, but when you become a partner on the job, you have a very clear path, a very easy way for a customer to understand how you operate, and that's what you do. Now, as far as allowances go, I like to put limits. I like to call it a limit because I don't want to go out and say I'm going to build for me retaining walls. I'm not going to go out and replace your retaining wall and rebuild you a new one with no limit, right? I will say I will rebuild your retaining wall up to 300 square feet. Anything above and beyond that will be a charge on your contract. But when I limit my materials, I'm protecting myself. I can still give a lump sum bid, right? But I'm not lump sum bidding the project where I can just work in, off into the sunset doing it, because I learned this trick when I had a customer that wanted a retaining wall across the entire back of his property, and we built it 4 foot tall. It's like 1,200 square foot retaining wall. And then he goes, oh yeah, I want it wrapped in on the end. And I'm like, that's gonna be an extra 40 square feet, because now I'm not just going straight, I'm wrapping it in. And he's like, nah, you just said build a retaining wall across the back of my property, so I want it wrapped in. And then I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I did. So then I go and I look at the contract and I go, I got a price per square foot. I got limits on this one. I made sure, and I'm like, I'm never not limiting my contracts at that point. So then I did what he said, and I had him come out with a tape measure and start measuring with me. Right? I'm like, how much do you think that wall is going to cost you, the extra changes that you want to make? And he had a piece of paper behind his back, and he's like, you tell me. And I says, this much? And he pulls out his piece of paper, because I didn't know he was just hiding it. He goes, yeah, you're right. So the limits protect you. Work within your comfort zone, and then dominate that. Figure out a way that you can just work the way that you feel best. You don't have to work how everybody else works. Don't. Work the way that you work the best, and you will become this. Just like Kathleen said, work within your own strengths, personality strengths, work within your own business strengths, how you function, but then don't be wishy-washy, because they sense weakness.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Oh yeah,
Oh,
customers
yeah.
sense weakness, right? But when you become a partner on their project, and here's something I want you to do: over-deliver. Easy thing to do, little things. The easiest way to over-deliver. I had a guy. He's actually my business partner now, Tim, in GT Lawns. He worked for me for 20-some years, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just making you a partner. He's like, well, what do I got to do to pay? And I'm like, you're just my partner 50%. You're just my partner, but I'm not going to run the business anymore. You run everything, so I can do YouTube stuff. That's how I was able to start to do YouTube stuff, is I literally gave 50% of my business away. But he worked. The reason I was able to make that decision confidently is because he worked for 20-some years with never a complaint. The only complaint I got was him from one contractor who said, this kid doesn't stop calling me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, this kid that's running your job site, he calls me 5 times a day. Why? And I'm like, does he want to do a good job, you think? He's like, yeah. Is he doing a good job? Yeah, but he just keeps calling me. And so over-deliver on your communication. One of the things I actually tell my guys to do is to stop for about 20 minutes a day and just talk to the customer. All I want you to do is talk to the customer. I'll pay you to stop and just talk to the customer. I don't care what you talk about. Fishing? I don't care. You don't have to talk about the job. You don't have to talk about the job. Just talk to the customer, because what happens is they start to like you. And anybody here got a kid? Okay? Do you forgive your kid when they do something wrong? Because you like them? You like them a little bit? You forgive them? Your parents ever forgive you for something you did wrong? You thought you should be in trouble? You think a customer that really likes you will forgive you if you maybe don't do everything absolutely right? I mean, we don't do bad work, but I can do average work, which I consider to be bad work. So we can do bad work or average work, and the customers love it. And I'm just going, okay, glad you like it, because they love the guys. And I challenged one of my customers. I says, it was a big job. I said, we're going to be here for 2 months. You're going to miss us when we're gone. And she was a freaking deep red, just a nasty woman. And but Tim is just a very mellow, just a caring type of a person. She cried when he left. She cried when my crew left. She took us, her and her husband took all of us out to dinner, because every single day we communicate, and that's part of our system to reduce complaints, is just to talk to the customers. Go for it, Dan.
I got a little nugget. That's something that we focus on really, really heavily, and we actually do the same thing where, like, if we're coming, a customer comes out, like, the guys will kind of keep working, but if I'm not there or if I'm there, I definitely will just stop and go talk to them about whatever, especially old ladies, man. They will talk about whatever. And so it's unbelievable on my job sites that just the clients that we have will, like, invite us inside, would have fresh baked cookies literally out of the oven. This has happened more than once, with like milk or like whatever you want, or like bring us snacks or water or watermelon. It's just like the connection, and then those people are customers for life, and like they'll call you for anything.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
Stan, I have a question.
great nugget, great nugget. All right, cool.
This spring, a builder came up to us and he said, hey, they do a lot of homes, he said, hey, we have a ton of boulder walls ready. So we said, sure, he said, we said, sure. So we went to like $100,000 worth of boulder walls, and it's like a net 30. So we did them all, and then had received a cent. Now our payroll and everything comes up right away. Like, what do you do in that situation? Do you get a line of credit, or?
Okay, so here's the thing, Garrett. We started to talk about commercial versus residential work, but we do need to dive a little bit deep on this because you are now delving into the commercial end of it. Commercial work, you never get paid right away, and so you need to know ahead of time. So that's your bad. That's just your bad, plain and simple, Garrett. You gotta deal with that. So with a residential customer, you can set the terms where I get half down when my equipment shows up and balance due before my equipment leaves your site. There's no excuses. The day I leave, I'll let you know ahead of time. I expect the check taped to the door, or I expect you there to walk through the job site. Walking through the job site is an amazing thing to eliminate customer complaints and callbacks. But when you do commercial work, you don't get any of that. So here's the way the commercial industry typically will work. You'll do the job, and then you invoice. So if you do the job and you start the job on the 1st of June. We start the job the 1st of June. The contractor, he may have his invoicing set up for June 30th. Okay? So you can turn that invoice in. Let's say it's a 3-day job or a 5-day job. You turn your invoice in June 5th. It does not get processed until June 30th. Once it then goes into the system, they have anywhere from 60 to 90 days to pay you after that, right? So now you're 2 to 3 months out on this job that you bought all the materials from. You've paid all your guys because you're not going to pay them 60 to 90 days later unless you don't want to keep them, right? And so then it gets better, you guys. This is the beauty. Remember when I said commercial work's a great way to go broke pretty fast? So you've got to balance all of these. It's like that guy that used to juggle all them plates on the poles, right? You're going to be doing this, but here's the best part. A lot of the commercial sites will then hold 5 to 10%, anywhere from 12 months to 18 months. I got an $8,000 check from retainage from a job I did a decade ago. Just showed up in the mail. I forgot about it. I'm like, where's that? Oh, nice. That's awesome. Right? But I had balanced all these plates. So how do you do commercial work? Well, you balance the plates so that the payment, so you're always 90 days out. So this payment that's coming in now, right, is going to pay for this job. You can't Ponzi scheme it. Now, if I'm talking too fast, Ponzi scheming means robbing Peter to pay Paul. But you know that you've always got to have a certain amount of money coming in, and you always know that the job you're working at is not going to be there for 60 to 90 days at the soonest. But that's just the status quo. Hey, you guys, I hope this has helped. I appreciate everything, you guys, and I'm going to leave you guys with my outro, which is God bless, and go get them, you guys. And this is it, you guys. We've wrapped this up. Big thanks goes out to Jobber. This was our final conclusion, or this is the conclusion of our Your Mouth Makes You Your Money video series, and it's going to be in our Listen While You Work playlist. Hope this kind of stuff helps you guys out, but again, the success really depends upon you guys interacting with the video. And with that being said, let me know what you think of it in the comments down below, and we've got more interviews with more amazing people coming right at you. It's crawling up my back now. Yes, no, it just crawled down my back. Yeah. I'm not joking. That's all I got for you today, guys. He looks traumatized. I didn't invite you. God bless you guys. Go get them. Do me a favor. Check out the video here and the one here. And I will see you guys on the next one. You need a bath.